Good evening and welcome to Back to School Night 2023. Thank you for attending this session either virtually or in person. I am Mr. Hayhurst. I am the teacher for the supplemental instruction using courseware by Edmentum this year here at Quartz Hill High School. And this is room 223. You may contact me by calling me on the phone 661-718-3100. I'm at extension 223. Now, if you call during the class day, there's a good chance that it'll ring right through and you'll be able to reach me. If you call after class hours, there's a really good chance that you won't reach me because I'm somewhere else on campus or I have left for the day. If you leave a message, it will not record. I've been here for 10 years and there's probably 10 years worth of voicemail messages that have clogged up my inbox. I have yet to figure out how to work the voicemail system here in my classroom. So the voicemail does not work. Do not bother leaving a message. Send me an email. My email address is Hayhurst, spelled P-H-A-Y-H-U-R-S-T @avhsd.org. That's my preferred method of contact. So when you contact me through email, there's some very specific protocols that I'd like to have happen. First of all, if you are a student and you are sending me an email, this is 100% rule. You must send email to your instructor, that's me, using your student email address. Do not send me email from outside the system. The powers that be here have instructed me as a teacher to not respond to student emails from outside of our system. We want you and encourage you to use your ID number at students.avhsd.org email address when corresponding with anyone on campus. Myself, all of your other teachers, your counselors, or any administration. Now, when you send something to me, because I have so many different subjects offered, I really strongly recommend that when you send email, you put in the subject line of your email address the name of the course that you are taking. I have somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 to 50 courses that can be offered through Edmentum at any one particular time. So when you send me an email, it helps me greatly if you tell me the course you are taking and which semester you are taking. For example, you are taking Algebra 1, Semester 2, or you might be taking English 11, Semester 1. It's important to give me the name of the course, the ranking of the course. English classes are English 9, 10, 11, and 12, Algebras 1 and 2, so on and so forth. And then the semester 1 or semester 2. It helps me to quickly locate you within my system. Then in the body of the email, tab down to the body, and in the body, write the question that you are asking me. If you write a question in the subject line, there's a very good chance that I will not be able to see all of it because it runs off the screen and I can't scroll that far. I've had a real problem with students writing an entire paragraph in the subject line, and then I go to answer it and I can't read the request. So I have to wait, or I have to respond and say, please send your question in the text or the body of the email. I can't read it if you put a whole long list of things in the subject line. Now, for parents, when you contact me, it's important that you give me the first and last name of your son or daughter in the subject line. Sometimes, some of you with very common names, there might be a second person, you know, John Smith, for example. In that case, you might have to give me the student's ID number as well. And then again, with parents, the questions or requests need to go into the body of the email, not the subject line. So as you are going through from class to class, viewing your students' schedule, you might be asking, why is my son or daughter taking supplemental instruction class? Well, there are several reasons that your son or daughter could be placed in this class. And the first is simply they want to get ahead. They want to graduate early, or they don't want to take something next year that they could take this year. That's always an option. The second reason could be that they missed something in their schedule. They might not have taken health as a freshman, and so they have to come back as a junior or senior and take health again. The third reason is that they need to improve a grade. Sometimes colleges look at D's and C's as not acceptable, and so some students want to change a D or a C to an A or a B. Or the last reason is that your son or daughter simply did not pass some particular subject and needs to retake that. And I find that the majority of my students have the fourth reason there as their reason for taking this class. So that should not be a surprise to anybody. Now, in this classroom, we use a software called Edmentum. Edmentum is new to our district this year. It is replacing what you may have referred to as Apex in the past. Apex is also a standalone platform for delivering instruction. Edmentum is similar to Apex in the sense that it is also a standalone program. The operation of Edmentum is different than Apex in the sense that with Edmentum, students take a lesson, and then after the lesson, at the completion of the lesson, they go on and they take a test. And every time they are tested, it's called a test. There's no distinction between quizzes and tests. There's no teacher scored tests versus computer scored tests like as in Apex. In this courseware by Edmentum, students are given simply an assignment to do with questions, an area to type in their answers, and then they get a test that is graded by the computer. The worksheets, if you will, for lack of a better term, those assignments that are done on the computer where the students have to type in or draw in an answer, those come to me and I grade those. Now, if a student sends me something with a blank space anywhere in their assignment, I will not give them full credit. The only way a student can get full credit is if every item is answered correctly. The Edmentum can be found at edmentum.com. Parents, if you want to log in, I'm being told today that if your email is in our system, you can use your email as your username, and your email will also be your password for the first time you use it. And that will somehow, and again, this is new to me, this will somehow link you to your son or daughter's course. Students, you are expected to earn 15 credits in a semester. So that means you should finish 3 semesters worth of work in the 90 days that you are in my classroom this semester. Okay, so as far as student expectations, I kind of alluded to this in the previous slide. The courses are designed to allow the student to work either here in my classroom where we have 40 computers, or they can work, or in addition to in the classroom, they can work at home. And they can work on any connected device. I'm being told by students that their phones work sufficiently. However, it's a little smaller than they might like. But for the most part, their phones will work. They can work on a tablet or a laptop or a desktop computer. The students are expected to earn 3 semesters worth of courses in this class. So instead of earning 5 credits as they would in a regular classroom setting, they're earning 15 credits. So they would take, for example, if they were just taking English classes, they might take English 9 semester 1, English 9 semester 2, and English 10 semester 1, giving you 3 separate semesters worth of credit for 15 credits. In this classroom, I say often that it takes 15 hours worth of work every week to earn your 15 credits in the semester. 15 to get 15. The students should be doing every assignment they are given in the order in which it was presented. And they should not be skipping around. Do the assignments in order as it is presented. When you submit something, I expect that every question has an answer. If you don't know the answer to a question, you need to stop right there and go back into the instruction, the curriculum part, reread, review, or rewatch the lesson, and then go back and give me a better answer than, I don't know. Give me something that I can either give partial credit for or reward you for effort. Now, students will follow the instructions, watch and read the lessons online, and then be given a written assignment. That's what I was just talking about. All responses require a complete answer. If you don't give me an answer, you cannot receive full credit. After each lesson, for a particular segment, the student will then take a small test, a quiz, if you will, but like I said, in this system, it's all called tests. The student will have 2 opportunities to take each of the tests. If after 2 attempts, the student still has not mastered, and by master, I mean you have to have an 80% or better score on a test. If you have not mastered the test, you may not take it again. So 2 attempts, first attempt can be a throwaway score, but the second attempt, you get the score that you earn on the second attempt. Students will be working, and this is an expectation, at a pace to finish a class every 6 weeks. There's 18 weeks in the semester, so if you finish 1 class each 6 weeks, that gives you 3 classes in the 18 weeks. All required coursework is given to the students on the Edmentum platform and can be completed both inside and outside of the classroom, as I said, using any connected device with internet access. Some assignments will require the use of Google Docs or other word processing software, or slides, or some other presentation software such as PowerPoint. But Google Docs and Google Slides are both provided to the student on their student accounts and are free to the students. Once that is done, the student can then attach that in the Dropbox for it with Edmentum. Now let's talk about progress reports. Many students will notice that there is a grade in their PowerSchool right now, and this happens when I transfer manually the grades from Edmentum to PowerSchool. It only happens when I do it. Now, I did it early for the purposes of back to school night. I will update it before the progress reports go out at the 4.5-week mark. The final grades, though, are not reported through PowerSchool. Those I send directly to our school registrar, and she will put them manually into the student transcript. With regard to how you are going to figure out how your student is doing on a weekly basis, you should be receiving every week an email from Edmentum. And this email may show up in your trash or your junk or your unsolicited emails, so you might have to add Edmentum to your contacts list, and that email address is noreply-elf@edmentum.com. noreply-elf@edmentum.com. The dash is also necessary there. Please add that to your list of safe senders or your contacts list, and that should allow for the email to be sent to your email address. Okay, now let's talk about what you're going to see in your progress report. When you get a progress report, there are 3 grade metrics that you will see. You will see, first of all, actually there's 4 things. The first thing you're going to see is some sort of a person. If it's going to the left and red or some shade of red, the student is probably off pace. And I use this graphic here to show an example of a student that is off pace. So you see the red running person going to the left. If it's standing still and kind of an amber color, then that person is only slightly behind. If it's standing still and somewhat greenish yellow, that person is on target. If it's running and is green, then your student is on target. Now, what do these 3 different indicators to the right here mean? Well, first of all, the on-target grade is what the students grade for the work they have turned in and are expected to have completed by the current date. So, for example, if they have 5 assignments due and they've only turned in 3, this grade will be low because 2 of them are counting as a 0. The current grade is what is the student's grade based on the work they have completed so far. So this person's grade at 90% here is showing that maybe the student only turned in 2 assignments, got an 85 on one and a 95 on the other. That averages to a 90%. The final one, the course grade, this is the percentage of the grade for all of the assignments in the entire semester. So when you look at this is how close they are to passing the whole course. When that is at 60%, it's not going to drop below. These 2 will fluctuate depending on due date and what the student has turned in. This will only go up, it cannot go down. And that is where I will conclude the presentation for tonight. Thank you for watching, and/or thank you for attending in person the Back to School Night 2023. If you've missed anything, you can come back to my website and review this. I will have a link for this video on the students portal in Google, in their Google Classroom. And if you need that link, you can always email me. If there's ever any question about a student's grade, send me an email. And again, my email is phayhurst@avhsd.org. And once again, thank you very much, and have a good night.